True fans live for their team. For those true U of A fans, there is Hughes Federal Credit Union. Show your U of A spirit and put technology and convenience at your fingertips. Hughes Federal Credit Union. Smart choice.
Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, here's something I've never said before. It's mid-January, and all anybody wants to talk about is Arizona football. Very strange.
The big mystery that sucks everybody in.
Right. This week's news, Matt Capone, Arizona's safeties coach, has left for a job at West Virginia. This now gives the U of A 3 openings on its defensive coaching staff. They should fill at least one of those, we'd think, by the end of the week. There's a name that kind of keeps coming up in the people we talk to, and that's Marcel Yates. He's the defensive coordinator at Boise State, a guy who kind of ticks all your boxes. I mean, on the surface, this looks like this might be the guy.
It's not a bold-faced name, as you would say,
right,
but it's a name that people would nod their heads at, I think.
Yeah, you take a guy from Boise State who, before that, was the co-defensive coordinator at Texas A&M, a guy who's a known recruiter, a guy who runs a version of Rich Rodriguez's 3-3-5 odd stack defense. I mean, this is somebody who, if you wanted to keep kind of the continuity in place, he'd be a good place to look.
Boy, why do you want to keep some continuity in place? I mean, it was a dumpster fire.
It was. But, you know, if it's a 3-man front, like we were talking about earlier, a 3-man front is a 3-man front. I think that, you know, that's much better at this point than switching to the 4-3 with the players that you have.
Where are they going to get 4 good down linemen?
Exactly. They can barely get one.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of the latest coaching move with Capone leaving, were you surprised at all?
My guess is that RichRod decided to let even Capone go in mid-December.
Okay.
I think he was determined then they're all gone.
Right.
He wasn't going to go down with that ship.
Right.
And we'll never know the timing of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he fired Jeff Castile the day after that game.
Right.
And only let it come out now.
Sure. Well, and it's funny with Capone, too. You see this in coaching a lot. Maybe it was kind of understood that he should just go look somewhere else. And you give him a chance to go to I think a lateral move as a football program, probably. A defense that was certainly better than Arizona's. And then closer to his home, which is in Pennsylvania. I mean, that's a pretty good move, even if Arizona's having some success.
Right. I mean, Matt Capone wasn't a Pac-12 level assistant coach.
Right.
He really wasn't. He was a beginner. I don't know if you can get away with guys like that at Arizona.
I don't know. But I think that as Arizona tries to cobble together a new defensive staff, you got to hire 3 more guys. If you're going to hire at least 1 and maybe 2 big ticket guys, cost-wise, I think that you're going to need to bring in somebody like Matt Capone, a younger guy who's going to make a little less money, free up some of that salary to go to a Joe Salavea if you want to get him, or a Mike Tuiasosopo.
Yeah. Well, if Marcel Yates is the guy, and they pay him $500,000,
right,
he could still hire a big-name defensive line coach or whatever position coach for $350,000 or $400,000.
Right.
To me, that makes the most sense. Bring in 2 guys instead of 2 beginners.
Right, but if you're talking about somebody like Joe Salavea, you're asking him to basically take the same money, maybe a little less, to come here as opposed to Washington State, where he just got a multi-year contract extension.
And a title of assistant head coach. Right. Joe Salavea isn't happening without $500,000.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Sure. You still need somebody, I think, though, who can recruit the islands, who can recruit
absolutely
big men. If it's not Salavea, is there somebody there who do you think has those connections?
Boy, if RichRod doesn't know a guy by now, I mean, Mike Tuiasosopo fills some of those boxes.
Sure.
I still think there might be a big surprise in this.
Tosh Lupoy, let's go.
Oh, that's home run.
Outside linebackers coach at Alabama. A great recruiter, knows the West, was at Washington. He'd make a lot of sense.
And in my little corny corner of the world, with the secondary job open, I'm thinking Chuck Cecil. I mean, what is that, a 1 in 100 chance?
Yeah, but still.
But that would be, somebody who watched him play and wrote about him when he was here, that would be headline.
Right, and you wonder, though, does Chuck Cecil, who's now with the Rams, does he want to follow the team to St. Louis and deal with all that for the next 3 years?
Yeah, does he want to recruit?
Right.
He's never recruited.
Did I say follow the team to St. Louis? I meant follow the team to Los Angeles. You know what I mean here. Just a mess. Speaking of dumpster fires, that whole thing, not so good.
Yeah.
Not good. Well, I guess it could be worse if you're Rich Rodriguez. You could be the San Diego Chargers.
Or a fan of the San Diego
Or a
Chargers.
fan of the San Diego Chargers. You could not know where you're playing,
Yeah.
next season. Yeah. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. For Greg Hansen, would you root for a team, if the Yankees moved to Connecticut, would you root for the Yankees?
If they had Mickey Mantle.
Well, they have Aroldis Chapman.
If they keep Mickey Mantle's uniform on the outfield wall, I'll cheer for him.
There we go. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
True fans live for their team. They buy the gear, they order the tickets, they pay for the seats and the experiences. For those true U of A fans, thankfully there is Hughes Federal Credit Union, offering the latest payment choices such as U of A debit cards, paying online, paying a friend with Pop Money, or using Apple Pay with your mobile phone. Show your U of A spirit and put technology and convenience at your fingertips. Hughes Federal Credit Union. Smart choice.